93 here, and welcome back to another tutorial though. Today we'll be doing a train station though. As you can see here, this is the layout though, with the red concrete as the platforms and the black concrete as the tunnels. So, in today's episode though, we're working on the tunnels though. And these are the materials we're gonna need. Now, obviously though, we're gonna need an add-on. Now, if you're playing on Bedrock Edition though, you're gonna need an add-on. Though. Now, Java Edition, though, I don't know about Java Edition, though, because I don't have Java Edition. I only have Bedrock Edition and PlayStation 4 Edition. So, but you're going to need a specific add-on that contains trains, though. Specifically trains, though, that have tracks, though, like this, though. And then you're going to need to get, like, here, I'll put the add-on, though, in the description, though, of all these videos, of this entire playlist that I'm gonna do though. But I'm gonna need to do it on, but I'm gonna do Bedrock. It has to be specifically Bedrock Edition because I don't know about Java Edition because I don't have Java Edition. But the blocks you're gonna need though is gravel, oak tied, iron track, white concrete tunnel trim, white concrete, and sea lanterns. So what we're gonna start off though is we're gonna start off by destroying all this black concrete here though. Concrete around this though. So we'll start off with this block here, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So, and then we're going to fill this in with gravel. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side too, which is also going to be 19. And then we're going to fill in between the 19, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which, so, on both sides. And then we're going to need to do the same thing on this side as well, though. Now, what you're going to need to make sure, though, is that between the tunnels, though, is going to need to be 11 blocks apart though, between each tunnel though. Whoops. I forgot gravel falls. To be honest, I forgot gravel falls. And then what you're going to need to do though is after you get a secure outline though, you're going to need to break the inner section though as well though, and fill that entire thing up with gravel as well though. Now, I can't time-lapse it, though, because I don't know any editing skills, unfortunately. But, yeah. Whoops. And don't worry, though, if you make mistakes, though, just grab a grass block and place it down, though. Like that. Okay, so then what you gotta do, though, is then you gotta fill this in with gravel. Like so. And then you're gonna need to do this into the other side as well though. Now all my videos though are unedited though. Except for like one though, but that was like a while ago though. It was a Fortnite roleplay video, which did unfortunately come to an end though, because the two friends that I was doing it with though are busy, like very busy. So yeah, that's the only one that I had to trim down though as well though. So yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to need to do though is now we're going to need to grab out our white concrete trim tunnels, and we're going to stick them along the outsides of the 19 blocks though. Like this. Now, don't worry though, you only need one add-on though, because the tunnel trims though is actually part of the train add-on though, which I will mention the train though in the description of all these videos though. And then you need to stack these walls up of a total of 3 blocks tall though. So you need to do a total of 3 blocks tall though. Whoops. So like this. Like that. And then you're gonna need to do the same thing to this side. Oh jeez, I don't know why it's lagging like this though. And I don't like it either. I really don't. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do though is now we're going to take our white concrete and stick it all alongside this right here. So all the way down until you get to the 19th block. As well though. Not there. But like this. Like so. And then what you're going to need to do though is you're going to need to stack it up on one more though on each side. And then what you can do next though is then you're gonna connect it over like this. And you're gonna fill it all in though. So to where it's gonna look a little something like, well, it's gonna look a little something like, it's gonna look like this though. When it's all finished though. It's gonna look, the tunnel is gonna look like this though when it's all finished. Now what we're going to need to do though is we're going to grab our sea lanterns, so and then on the 4th block though of each side, though, which I will break each 4th block though to show you what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this. So this is where you're going to put your sea lanterns though, to kind of give it like the tunnel some light, you know. It's just to give the tunnel some light. So, and then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. To where there's going to be a 3-block gap between each sea lantern. Like so. And then now what you're going to need to do though is now you're going to need to place down the tracks. So, which will be right by the wall though, but it's not going to be in the way of the wall though. It's gonna look a little something like this. This is how the tunnels will look like, though, when it's all completed. Now we're just gonna do this on that side now, and then we're gonna move on to the longer tunnels as well, though. So first things first, though, is we're actually gonna place down the tracks first, though, to then make it so then we don't have to do that last, though. Now, there's a specific way you have to put on the wall trims. So the specific way to look at the way to put on the wall trims though is to face like the opposite direction though of like, okay, so you don't want to do it like this. Okay, so you don't want, okay, the reason why you don't want to do it like this though is because it's going to collide in with the tracks. So you want to look. So basically, the way you want to look, though, to place these down, though, is you want to look at, like, the farthest block, though. That's how it's going to stay away from colliding in with the tracks. So, that's how you're going to want to put down these wall trims, though. And I'll also make sure I add the cost of the Minecoins, though, as well, though. So, just so you guys know the pricing of it though as well though, so all you guys have to do though is just like find the add-on though, and if you have enough Minecoins though you can get it, but if you don't then my suggestion is though is to actually wait till you have enough Minecoins to get it though, or if you have like if you're like on PlayStation or Xbox, and technically PC as well though, but PC works differently though with Bedrock Edition though. There we go. Nice. Now, if you're wondering though why I'm leaving why I'm only placing down 3 though, is because this is where the sea lanterns are actually gonna go. Whoops. There we go. Because by adding the sea lanterns next though, it's gonna make it easier though, so you don't accidentally like break the wrong block though when trying to figure it out. Okay, so now the tunnels though are now gonna, so now the shorter tunnels are gonna be completed. Now here's the thing though. What I'm gonna do next episode though is I'm gonna start working on the platforms though, but not just any. But I'm gonna work on one platform at a time though. No, just to make it easier on myself, you know, a little bit. Okay, so now that both tunnels are, so now that the shorter tunnels are now finished. It's now time to work on the longer tunnels, which are over here. Now, now obviously the length like the width though is going to be the same though. The width is the same, but not the length. The length is actually going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Okay, so the width of the tunnels are the exact same, but the length of the tunnels is what makes them different. The length of the longer tunnels, though, which are like the exit, which will come from that direction, though, from the trains, will be 31 blocks. While a different section, though, would actually be only 19 blocks. But you're going to want to do the same thing though with both tunnels and that is to first do the outline though, which I will also like make sure it's going to be hard to explain though even with signs because of how complex it is though to explain it. So. But now what you're going to need to do though is you're now going to need to do the same thing though like you did for the smaller tunnels and break the interior though, like inside the barrier, like inside the lines though inside the outline though of the tunnel. You're going to need to do the same thing, though, for both sides, though, as well, though. To make it easier, though, in my opinion, to make it easier, though, just break both of the insides first, though. Whoops. Just break both of the interiors, though, of the outline first, though. That is gonna save you so much time, though. So all you gotta do then, though, is you just have to fill it in with gravel. Oops, again. Are you kidding me? There we go. Darn it, why do I keep doing that? I don't know. But anyways. So now we're gonna need to, whoops, not the tracks. We need to grab it. Now, I will be taking a break from the city world, though, until I get this train station tutorial done, though, so then I can go back onto the city world and do the train station as well, though. But the train station, though, is going to take a bit of time, though, to do, though, because of how complex, because of an idea, though, that I'm not sure if it's going to work well or not, though. Now, obviously, though, I don't have a final product yet, though, because I don't have the actual design of it yet, though. There we go. And then we're going to need to do the same thing, though, for the other wall, though, for, like, the other tunnel, though. Are you kidding me? Why doesn't it want to do that? I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. There we go. Now, obviously, though, some of these videos are going to be short, though. Now, what I'm actually going to do, though, is this, though. The reason why I'm saving the platforms to last, though, is because of, like, because it's a specific way I need to do this, though. Like, as a very specific way, though. I'm going to need to do it, though, given the reason why I'm not going to be able to do that yet, though. Now, with these tunnels, though, you have to be precise as possible, though. Now, for those people, though, who live in other countries, though, like the UK, like the United Kingdom, for example, you guys have what's called euros, though, which is different from US dollars. Which is what I use. I use US dollars since I live in the United States. So instead of me having to like put like the actual cash though thing that you can use though for the US dollars, though, I'm only gonna stick the Minecoins though to make it fair for everyone though. Oh, there we go. Done. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same type of pattern, though. 3 blocks, sea lantern. There we go. I'm not there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that's what the tunnel is going to look like though, as well though. Now, before I add the roof to this one though, let me work on this tunnel real quick though as well though. Even though it's going to take a lot longer though, but it's going to be worth it in the end though. Trust me. Oh, darn it. Ah! I'm also dealing with permanent stick drift though, guys, as well though, so if you see me constantly place blocks though out of place though, that's because I'm dealing with permanent stick drift though, and it's difficult for me to move around though without my character having to move on its own. Which is very annoying, but I also don't have the money to change it yet. To like, get a new one yet. As you can see there, I was moving on my own there. Well, you guys couldn't tell though, because I'm doing videos though. Which don't have access to my camera though, unfortunately. But I was moving there though very, very slowly. That is because of my stick drift. So, but that's like irrelevant though to the tutorial though. So that's it. Like if you see me just like start randomly like slowly moving though, wondering what that is is my stick drift, and it's super annoying that I have it though, and it's permanent too. Don't know how it happened, but it's permanent. But apparently what you can do though with these though is you can actually make them turn, which I did not know that. I swear I didn't even know you can actually make these turn though until I found out about it though while trying to figure out the design though of the tunnels though, off camera though. Because while I was trying to figure out the design though of the tunnels though, what I was doing though is I was actually trying to figure out, while I was figuring out the design of the tunnels though, I accidentally made it turn though. Like the walls though. There we go. And then now we can now add the roof now. And then once I add the roof, though, we can then add the tracks, though, as well, though. Now, what I'm also going... Now, like I said, though, I'm doing the tunnels, though. Now what the tunnels don't include, though, is the flooring, though, with the platforms, though. The flooring with the platforms, though, is what I'm going to... Now, what I could do, though, is this, though. What I could do is I could actually do all 3 platforms in one episode, though. But the fact that I only have a maximum recording time limit, though, of an hour, though, because of PlayStation reasons, though, because PlayStation only allows a max of an hour, though, for videos, though. Which means that I'm gonna need to, like, do, like, each platform in their own separate video, though. Unless if one of them has to, now, obviously, though, since I'm doing 3 platforms, though, each of them is going to have a specific number, though. Instead of, like, and yes, I will number them, though, as well, though. I will number them before I actually do them, though. To make it, just so you guys can so you guys don't have to, like, worry, you know, about, like, which platform am I doing first, second, third. No, by numbering them, though, it's gonna make it easier, though, not only on myself, but also on you guys, though, in case if you guys want to build this yourself, in case you want to build the same exact train station you guys yourself, though, as well, though. But it's up to you guys if you want to do that, though. It's not really up to me. It's up to you guys. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now that the tunnels are done, so which took me less time than I expected it to, okay, so here's the plan, though. The plan is this, though. Scratch what I said earlier, and let's do the pathway for the tracks, though. Well, wait, I just realized this isn't even done yet, though, because the rails are not down yet. So what I'm also gonna do, though, is I'm also going to do the pathway, though, of the I'm also gonna do, like, the pathway, though, of like between each tunnel, though, as well, though. I'm gonna do that real quick, though, as well, though. But there's a catch to this, though. You see what these red concrete blocks are, though? This is technically the start of the platform, though. But what I'm gonna do, though, is I'm not doing the actual platform, though. I'm just doing underneath the platform, though, which is different, though, in my opinion. So what we're gonna do, though, is we're gonna break this block right here, though, and make sure it lines up with that tunnel over there, though. Which the amount of spacing, though, between each tunnel, though, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It is 24 blocks between each tunnel. Now, there's a good reason why, though, you have to fill it in with gravel, though. It's just so it, like, matches the design, though, of the tunnel, though. Of, like, well, not really the tunnel, though, but basically the rest of the ground, though, as well, though. For the tracks. Whoops, I did not mean to go that far, though. I don't know. Well, one of my friends just sent me a message, though. Oh, wait, it's in a group chat. That's why, though. That's why. I forgot. I actually did forget, though. I was in a group chat, though. With some of my PlayStation friends, though. I did actually forget about that, to be honest. Though. I did, so, yeah. Yeah. Now, the good news, now I do have a work schedule update for just this week so far, though. So far, though, my work schedule, though, is different this week, though, than it was last week. This week, I don't have to work Friday and Saturday, besides Thursday. Thursday is usually my original day off, though. That does remind me, though, to mention to you guys, though, which I will mention in a separate episode, though, about my work schedule updates, though, in case of, like, Fridays and Saturdays, though, will be permanent for me, but I don't know if they will or won't, though. So far, though, it just seems temporary. I didn't ask if it was permanent nor temporary. I want to find out for myself, though, and then clarify if it's permanent or temporary. Because if it's permanent, though, then it went from full-time to part-time. But if it isn't permanent, though, then I'll let you guys know if it's permanent or temporary. But the only way for me to figure out, though, if it's permanent, though, or temporary, though, is by next week, though. Next week's schedule, though. And there we go. So now that the tracks, though, are now finished, this is what you're going to end up with for right now, though, which will be part 1, which I will name these parts, though, as well, though, just like I did with the wooden house, though. Okay, so this will be the end of part 1 of making my train station, so make sure you smack that like button. If you do plan on subscribing, definitely your choice. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another Gundam 93 episode. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!